This week on Irish Bandit Revolution, we take a look back at the year that was, all the biggest news stories of 2018. The year in review of Irish Bandit Revolution begins now. Welcome back to a very special edition of Irish Bandit Revolution. I hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas and is having a great week. I, as always, am your host, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. This week on Irish Bandit Revolution, we're looking back at the year 2018, the year that was, all the biggest news stories, and all the big events that happened in this year. And it was a pretty eventful year, if you really think about it. Getting on a little bit of a side note, I don't really talk about much about my personal life on the show because there's, why? There's so much else going on in the world that one person, what does it matter? But, I just want to take this time at the beginning of this episode, just thank you guys for a great year. I think so far season 12 has been the best season, honestly. I said that for season 4. I think I said that again for season 8, but I truly think that season 12 has been one of, if not the best season that I've had. I've just done so many great episodes that I've enjoyed talking about. And overall, 2018 has been a pretty awesome year for me. I had a few stumbling blocks at the beginning, as, everyone does. Just a couple things that happened in my life that, were, almost set me back, but I was able to get through them. And I think this year has been a fantastic year for me. There was, Sask Expo, getting to meet Trish Stratus, meeting Mick Foley, going to his performance. They're going to Edmonton. I think going to Edmonton with Rider Pride, I think it was one of the best things to happen to me. It just put so many things in perspective for me, and I came home feeling so great, and I still feel great to this day as of the recording of this video. So 2018 was a great year, and 2019 I think is going to be a fantastic year as well. So, but we won't worry about 2019 right now. We'll worry about that in 2019, of course. And before we continue on with this video, I just want to give a special dedication to my best friend Monica's dog, Oreo, who unfortunately passed away this past week. This episode of Irish Bandit Revolution is dedicated in his memory. So anyway, let's just get right down to it and talk about some of the big news stories that happened this year. And one of the biggest news stories to happen was the midterm elections down in the States. For so long, we heard nothing but, no matter what side you're on, oh, blue wave, oh yeah, the Democrats are going to take over. And then you'd hear from the other side, from the conservative side, like, the only blue wave that's going to be happening is going to be the tears of liberals, and I'm going to bathe in them, and I'm going to laugh the whole time. And then the election results started pouring in, and in the end, the Democrats took the House, while the Republicans kept the Senate. Now, does this mean that everybody wins? It's something that kind of, I don't want to say confused me, but I don't really understand the whole process down in the States when it comes to government. Does it go Senate, House, then the President, or is the House of Representatives, the Senate, President? I know Donald Trump is the last stop for any bill, because he has the power there to put through any law or veto it, and I would imagine that anything the Democrats put forward, Donald Trump would veto immediately, and anything the Republicans put forward. I'm making this sound like a big conspiracy, so I'm not going to get into my own thoughts, but I don't think Donald Trump is as bad as everyone makes him out to be. Don't get me wrong, I am not a Trump supporter in any way, shape, or form. I've said time and time again, I'm not a Hillary Clinton supporter. I really don't like putting my own views in these videos, but honestly, I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and I'm neither liberal nor conservative, nor am I a moderate. in any shape or form. I think I found out after a lot of thinking, I think I found out what I really am. And in a way, I'm kind of an anarchist, but I don't know how well that would work in this day or age, but I just don't subscribe to either way of thinking, but we're not talking about my personal beliefs. It is going to be very interesting to see what happens come June 20th, January 20th. Too many months to begin with J. It's going to be interesting to see January 20th when the Democrats are sworn into the House. Ooh, there's going to be a lot of things going down come that time. It's hard to talk about American politics since I'm not American. Like, I don't like the guy we have in office right now. So, and we have an election coming up in Canada next year. So it's going to be interesting to see how that happens. I'll definitely be talking about that in the 2019 year review because, it's Canadian politics and something may not be newsworthy in the rest of the world, but in Canada it is. So, yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. I think there's going to be a huge round of indictments coming by summertime. And we'll see where that all leads, whether Donald Trump is deposed from power or if he's able to somehow, deflect all this and remain as Teflon as he has been. Because I was thinking a lot about this before the midterm elections, and the midterm elections could really determine what happens over the next 2 years, come the next presidential election in 2020. Because I was thinking if it was a total clean sweep for the Republicans, Donald Trump is going to get 4 more years, no doubt about it. But if it was a clean sweep for the Democrats, then possibly Donald Trump may be only serving 1 term, maybe less. But with the Republicans keeping the Senate and Democrats taking the House, anything could happen between now and 2020. So we're going to have to keep our eyes very, very close to this situation. Another big and more serious news story that happened in 2019 was the apparent kidnapping and murder of Washington Post correspondent Jamal Khashoggi. He was a Saudi nationalist who emigrated to the United States, was trying to get a paper for divorce from his wife in Turkey at the Saudi consulate, and then suddenly disappeared. Now, the reason why he disappeared and was apparently murdered, I say apparently because his body has not been found, was because he was so highly against the Saudi royal family that it appears, now I'm not leveling any accusation whatsoever, but it appears that the Saudi crown prince, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, ordered the assassination of Jamal Khashoggi. Now I say apparently because, again, his body has never been found, but he just disappeared from the Saudi consulate and has not been seen since October. Now this has brought a lot of things to the forefront with the U.S. government being such having close ties with the Saudi government. There was also a big thing surrounding World Wrestling Entertainment and their Crown Jewel event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. A lot of people were calling for the WWE to pull out of the event and pull out of their 10-year contract with Saudi. And they decided to go ahead with the with the event, despite all this happening. So, as of this recording, it is unclear what happened to Jamal Khashoggi, but he has been pronounced dead. And what does this mean for the media? Because he was a well-known journalist for the Washington Post. So what will this mean for the media? Is the media safe? Because, you have Donald Trump, who has declared the media, the mainstream media, public enemy number 1. And he whips up so much fervor over it. Especially with everything that happened with Jim Acosta at the White House when President Trump tried to ban him from the White House. Now, I know saying that a lot of people are going to be like, oh, but he's not your president. No, he's not my president, but he is the president of the United States. So if I can go off on a little tangent here, you don't have to like Donald Trump. I don't care if you love him or hate him. But to say, oh, he's not my president. Okay, have you moved from the United States since the last election? Because you may not have voted for him, but he is your president. Like, I mean, I hate Justin Trudeau. I hope nobody from the government sees this video, but I don't agree with a lot of things he's done since he took office. But unfortunately, he's still my prime minister until October of this year when he gets the boot. But anyway, again, this isn't my political opinions. But what does this mean for the mainstream media? Will others declare open season on members of the media, or just what? It is a very confusing time that we're living in, and I just hope that Jamal Khashoggi's family can find some sort of closure in all this. In more lighthearted news, in 2017, I reported the birth of baby Tajiri from April the giraffe. Well, April is pregnant again, and she will be giving birth to her fifth calf, I think this will be, in 2019. I do believe that this might probably be her last calf as well. Along with that, we also saw Tajiri move from the barn with his mother and Oliver, his father, to a new barn on property of Animal Adventure Park. Now, Tajiri was originally supposed to go to a park in North Carolina, I think it was. But because of the massive hurricane that ripped through the southern part of the United States earlier in the year, those plans had to be scrapped and Tajiri had to be moved immediately to another barn on the premises. The reason for that is because as he gets older, his hormones are going to kick in and they don't want any cross contamination between mother and son. That'd get kind of weird and you'd get funny looking giraffe babies. So they had to move him as quick as possible. Like they did this barn raising immediately for Taj's new barn. They're going to get another female giraffe for him. That way when he does come of age and he's start to able to breed, he'll have his new little girlfriend. Little damn things are like 14 feet tall. Look up, way up. Who remembers the Friendly Giant? He had a pet giraffe. He was orange with blue spots, but anyway. But yes, I'm so happy to hear that April is having another calf so we can relive all this madness over again. In one of the most shocking stories to come out of the world of professional wrestling, former WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, real name Joe Anoa'i, disclosed that he is currently is currently battling leukemia. Now, he originally fought the disease back 11 years ago when he was 22. It went into remission, but has just recently returned. Now, this is a giant blow to the WWE, as Roman Reigns was or is one of their biggest stars. He broke into the scene in 2014 with Shield members Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, made a huge name for himself there, where he won the tag team championships with Seth Rollins. After the Shield broke up, he went on to win the WWE Championship, the Universal Championship. Basically, he's held every championship on the roster since then, but he's also been the center of a lot of controversy. A lot of people, myself included, I will not, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll totally admit that I'm one of them, but a lot of people have felt that Roman Reigns was being pushed too hard by the WWE. That's why they were lashing out against him and booing him. Now, my own personal thoughts is I like Roman Reigns. I think he's a great wrestler, great in-ring talent, charismatic. He just has that look of everything a champion should be. But he shouldn't have had the Hulk Hogan rocket strapped to his back and pushed to the moon, honestly. It should have happened organically. Like, you take a look at somebody like Braun Strowman. He got over organically by himself. And Roman Reigns, he was just anointed the one by Vince McMahon. But I saw a definite shift when Roman Reigns disclosed his leukemia diagnosis because he came out to the ring holding the championship and he was dressed in street clothes. He wasn't dressed in his normal in-ring gear like the cargo pants, tank top, flak jacket, whatever. Came out with his hair in a bun, which, come on, Roman, a man bun, really? Came out black t-shirt, jeans, and it was like, whoa, something's different here because Roman doesn't dress in street clothes. And then he came out and said that 11 years ago, he was battling leukemia and it's returned. And you saw a sudden shift in the audience because when he came out, they started booing him like they normally do. When he said that he had leukemia, when he had to go away for a little while, everybody was cheering him. And I gotta admit, I was a little choked up by it. I was more so choked up by when he got to the top of the ramp. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins came out, tears in their eyes. Like, Seth Rollins was visibly crying. That was hard to watch. And then when they did the Shield fist bump, just seeing the look on Seth Rollins' face, it broke me, honestly and truthfully. But Roman Reigns has now been out for a few months. He just started treatment a couple weeks ago. And if everything I heard is correct, it is going to be a while before he's back in the ring. At most, he probably could be back by summer of 2020. That is a long time, but I think when Roman Reigns comes back, he is going to get the hero's welcome he deserves. And I just want to take a quick time to wish Roman the best. Make a speedy recovery. Come back soon, because you're the man. At the beginning of 2018, it was rumored that Andrew Lincoln, star of The Walking Dead, would be leaving the show during the 9th season. The rumors persisted, the rumors grew, until finally Robert Kirkman told us the news we were all dreading. That, in fact, Andrew Lincoln would be leaving in the middle of season 9. Now, I've seen the episode, I reacted to the episode. You can watch it right there. And I thought it was an excellent episode. And then the news came out that Andrew Lincoln was leaving The Walking Dead to star in The Walking Dead. Okay, now you're probably wondering how that's happening. What's going to happen is that there are going to be 3 made-for-TV, AMC-produced Walking Dead movies starring Andrew Lincoln. And it's going to... From what I understand, or what I think is going to happen, it's going to deal with everything that happens to Rick Grimes after the events of his final episode. Like, if you haven't seen his final episode, then I highly encourage you to watch it. If you watch The Walking Dead, if you don't watch The Walking Dead and you haven't gone that far, wait a minute, what am I saying? If you haven't watched The Walking Dead, then you probably don't care. But if you do watch The Walking Dead and you haven't gone that far, then you really need to catch up. I've seen up to the mid-season finale of this season, and what I want to say to the producers and writers of The Walking Dead, I can't say because this is a PG show, but it rhymes with duck foo for what happened in that episode. Anyway, whisker in my mouth. But yeah, Andrew Lincoln is leaving The Walking Dead to star in The Walking Dead. It's going to be 3 movies, all dealing with everything that happens to Rick after the end of his episodes. So I can't wait to see. There's been no time frame of when these movies are going to be airing. I just know that they're just going to be there. They won't see theatrical releases. They're just going to be they're just going to be airing on AMC. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Hopefully they start filming soon. And I think I also heard he's going to be directing a couple episodes of The Walking Dead. I'm not 100% certain, but that could just be a rumor. I don't know for sure, but I can't wait to see these new Walking Dead movies. And finally, in one of our saddest pieces of news, legendary Marvel Comics creator Stan Lee passed away at the age of 95 years old. Stan Lee was a cultural icon in his field. Like, he was basically a rock star. Stan Lee created the modern mythos we knew of comic books. He created most of the legendary Marvel characters, like Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four. He had a hand in Captain America. He made cameo appearances in all of the MCU movies. And I'm pretty sure he also filmed some cameos for Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame. Oh my god, watching Endgame is going to be such an emotional roller coaster because they have to do something big for Stan Lee. I don't think they'll do it in Captain Marvel, but I do think for Endgame, seeing how this is going to be the final Avengers movie, I think it's going to be the final Avengers movie. They're going to do something big for Stan Lee at the beginning of it. They have to. As long as they do something for him during some point in that movie. Like, I don't think they're just going to cut away and say, in memory of Stan Lee during the middle of it. But at the beginning, maybe they'll just go through all his cameos or do something, have everybody say something, saying, Stan, you were a visionary and we wouldn't be here without you, something like that. But Stan Lee, like I said, cultural phenomenon, and just he is going to be one who is severely missed. And speaking of that, unfortunately, we have to transition into the in memory video of 2018. We lost some notable people this year. Margot Kidder unfortunately passed away, best known as Lois Lane in the Star Wars. What? No, I'm thinking of Carrie Fisher in the Superman movies. We also lost some very notable wrestling talents this year, like Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Dynamite Kid. Since this video has been done, we've also lost the likes of Larry the Axe Hennig and Penny Marshall. Just so many notable people who have passed since then. So, without further ado, we say goodbye to the following. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think the biggest news story of 2018 was. Was it anything we talked about today, or was it something else? I'll read every comment, as I always do, and, well, the season finale is coming up in a couple weeks, so you'll hear it then as well. Don't forget to share this video anywhere you can on all the normal social media outlet suspects. Over my shoulder right here, you're going to see a link to last week's episode. It's a Very Bandit Christmas 4, where we're talking about A Christmas Story and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and the debate that's been raging on between the two of them. In the description down below, you're going to see a link to my Redbubble store where you can pick up all your Irish Bandit merchandise. We've got stickers, we've got t-shirts, we've got ladies racerbacks, we've got leggings, we've got phone cases for iPhone and Samsung. We have iPad cases, we have coffee mugs, travel mugs. Whatever your heart's desire, you can get it at the Irish Bandit shop. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, tap that bell and you'll be notified whenever I post a new video or whenever I go live. Speaking of going live, I will be doing that in 2 weeks with the season finale, but let's talk about next week's episode. My 5 is returning for the first time in 2019 and the last time this season, as I count down my 5 all-time favorite episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation. If you remember from earlier this season, I talked about my 5 all-time favorite episodes of Star Trek: The Original Series, so we're going to be covering the more superior series. Sorry, Dad, but it's true. Anyway, I will see you again in 2019 for a brand new episode of Irish Bandit Revolution. I hope you guys have a safe and fun New Year's. I'm going to have a little bit of fun as well. And I hope to see you guys again in 2019. I'm the Bandit, and I'm out of here. Take care, and Happy New Year.